noodle around an E or something. Yes, Lord.
Welcome to Wildwood Mennonite Church. This is our first annual Good Friday Blues service. Not sure about the annual part yet, but we'll see how tonight goes. How many of you have ever been to a Good Friday Blues service before? Anybody? Okay, me neither. Just so we all know a little bit about what to expect, our service this evening will be a mixture of some readings, some music, and a couple of opportunities to participate. The readings are simple. You sit and listen, imagine along, put yourself in the story. The participation activities will be optional. You'll have a chance, I'll explain those as they come up in the service. And the music, that's where the blues part comes in. Blues music is a little bit different than our typical church music, as you've already gathered. Blues is gutsy. It's about feeling the music, letting it get to you, which you can do with church music, but this is a different style of church music. Blues is not always a comfortable feeling. It plays with dissonance, with minor notes. It's not always exactly in tune. The notes bend and wail sometimes, and the words don't always exactly fit with the music. Blues isn't about getting it right so much as letting things be whatever they are. And that fits really well with the stories of Good Friday. So tonight, I invite you to join in with the music. Whether that's nodding along, I've seen some of that happening already, you're doing pretty good. You can hum, you can sing, you can tap your toes. We'll have the words to some of the songs on the screen, but we might not always sing exactly what's on there. This isn't written music. We're going to follow. These guys are going to lead, they're going to go where the music takes them, and we're going to join in wherever we can. Because the point isn't getting it right. The point is joining in, following, come what may. And that posture of following is where we begin.
Leader, he's a mighty good leader. He's a mighty good leader. All the way, Lord, on to heaven. Mighty good leader. Mighty good leader. He's a mighty good leader. He's a mighty good leader. All the way, Lord, on up to heaven. He's a mighty good leader, all the way.
I know what you're thinking. There weren't any buskers in ancient Jerusalem. Well, you're almost right. There weren't any buskers in the stories about ancient Jerusalem. And fair enough. Why would there be? It's not like there was a busker guild or anything. There weren't a lot of other buskers. Or other buskers. Okay, fine, it was just me by myself, trying to justify my meager existence by bringing a little humanity into the lamentable world of the almsgiven. They don't want to look at me. I don't really want to be seen by them. Not like this. But if we can share a few notes of a song together that somehow eases the mutual disdain of the donor-dependent relationship. Not to get all sentimental on you. I'm not here to tell my story. After all, like everyone else, you came to hear about Jesus, the Nazarene. That's him over there. I never let him get too far away these days. He's a good guy. Good guy. And funny. Y'all miss that most of the time, I think. Your religion is so serious. All holiness and solemn creeds and confessions. You'd lighten up a bit if you'd ever meet the man. And yes, I have met him. I know what you're thinking. If I had really met Jesus of Nazareth, how come I'm still standing on this corner with my hand out? I know, right? The man is famous for healing, changing lives, setting wrongs to right. The blind can see, the lame can walk, the deaf can hear again. It turns out that was mostly for show. Oh, what happened? There's no grand conspiracy. There were lots of real, verified, permanent, unfreaking believable healings. The ones you've heard about. But he didn't heal everyone. He didn't make everything better. Not for most of us. Some folks never got close enough. He didn't travel to every village. And most of the time the crowds were too big and he walked away. I'm not blaming him. There just weren't enough hours in the day or days in the year. And he was always upfront about this. He had a different calling. He hadn't come to solve everyone's problems, to cure every ill. He came to preach. He said to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. He had come to start a revolution, a whole new way of living. Healing was just a small part of it, mostly PR. Not everyone will have their wounds taken away. Which was like a kick in the gut for me to hear when I was standing in front of him, begging for healing, for the pain to stop. Not for everyone, not for the cosmos, but for me. Me, just this one guy standing in front of you. Just a word, that's all it will take. One word. Okay, he said, here's your one word. Follow. Follow? Well, I have. For what? 3 years now? Best as I can. I follow.
Let Jesus lead you, let Jesus lead you, let Jesus lead you all the way from up to heaven. Let Jesus lead you. He's a mighty good leader, he's a mighty good leader, he's a mighty good leader. All the way, Lord, on to heaven, mighty good leader. He led my mother, he led my mother, he led my mother all the way, Lord, on up to heaven, mighty good leader, always. Let Jesus lead you, let Jesus lead you, let Jesus lead you all the way, Lord, on up to heaven, Jesus lead you.
I can tell that you like him. Me too. He's got depth and character. For all the transients around him, he's solid, true. We've been together for a long time now, a decade at least. Well, not together. Nobody can marry a woman in my condition, even if he wanted to. It's just not done. I'm untouchable. or at least I was. Ours has been an illicit affair, though not nearly as steamy as that makes it sound. A couple of beggars in love. Oh, you thought I was talking about Jesus. No, not him, the busker. He's been with me through it all my frustrations, sharing the rejections and disappointments. He doesn't even mind that we can't be together in the usual way, or if he does, he doesn't let that define our relationship. Even since Jesus healed my condition, it's not like I'm an ideal partner, but he loves me, and I love him. I'm not sure what he thinks about all the time I spend with Jesus these days, though. He's a follower. We both are. But he hangs out at the edges of the crowd. Not me. I'm right at the center. I'm as close to Jesus as I can get. He thinks I'm too needy, that I should be content with the healing I received. Which makes sense when you say it out loud. I was sick for 12 years, and then in an instant, with a single touch, I was cured. Your faith has made you well. That's what Jesus said. As though my faith suddenly appeared in that moment. For 12 years I prayed for healing. 12 years. My best years. Marriage, family, my hopes and purpose. That's what was bleeding into the ground all those years. What good was faith then? I don't mean to sound ungrateful. Jesus did heal my body, but after all that I've lost, what is left? So I stay close to Jesus, waiting for another miracle. Where does faith end and desperation begin? Jesus told me to go, but I'm staying. He said I would find peace, but I'm still waiting for that.
On the first day of unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb is sacrificed, the disciples went to the city and prepared the Passover meal. When it was evening, Jesus came with the 12, and when they had taken their places and were eating, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me." They began to be distressed and to say to him one after another, "Surely not I." He said to them, "It is one of the 12, one who is dipping bread into the bowl with me. For the human one does as it is written of him, but woe to that one by whom the human one is betrayed. It would have been better for that one not to have been born." While they were eating, he took a loaf of bread, and after blessing it, he broke it, gave it to them, and said, "Take, this is my body." Then he took a cup, and after giving thanks, he gave it to them, and all of them drank from it. He said to them, "This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many. Truly I tell you, I will never again drink of the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new in the kingdom of God." When they had sung the hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives.
This world full of trouble and woe. This world full of trouble and woe. All I see is trouble. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna sing. And trouble that I know. This world's full of sadness and tears. This world's full of sadness and tears. They fill us full of sayings and full of fear. I sing till my eyes are clear. I'm gonna dig deep down in my heart. I'm gonna dig heart. I'm gonna dig deep, deep down. Gonna do my part. Gonna sing a brand new start. Our world's full of promising love. This world's full of promise and love. I'll promise a new day, no dark clouds above. I'm gonna sing that world I'm dreaming of. This world full of joy and mystery. This world's full of joy and mystery. This world will joy. I believe it will be when I know what it is to be free. This world's full of trouble and woe. This world's full of trouble and woe. All I see is trouble everywhere I go. I'm gonna sing my way back home. Sing my way back home. I'm gonna sing my way back home.
Trouble and woe. Yeah, we got that, me and Maggie. That's pretty much our whole story, and the whole story of our people, really. Today is Passover, when we remember that one time back there when God stepped in and did something about it. We've been clutching onto that story tighter than a Leafs fan to the '67 Stanley Cup. My editor said you'd get that reference. But what if this is all there is? I mean, we celebrate the Exodus story like it's some kind of victory march. But people forget where that story ends up, in the wilderness, and then into a war, and then chaos and division and oppression, and that's all before the next empire showed up and started kicking us around again. I'm not saying it's not a good story. I'm just saying that it doesn't have a fairy tale ending. The promise is there. The hope is constant that someday all will be made right. But we keep kicking that can down the road. I mean, the losses sure are piling up. It's going to have to be some kind of wonderful to make up for all this suffering. Does it even work that way? Did you hear what Jesus said back there? Broken, poured out? That sure doesn't sound like winning to me. Trust me, we know broken.
They went to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took with him Peter and James and John and began to be distressed and agitated. And he said to them, "I am deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here and keep awake." And going a little farther, he threw himself on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. He said, "Abba, God, for you all things are possible. Remove this cup from me, yet not what I want, but what you want." He came and found them sleeping, and he said to Peter, "Simon, are you asleep? Could you not keep awake 1 hour? Keep awake and pray that you may not come into the time of trial. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak." And again he went away and prayed, saying the same words. And once more he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were very heavy, and they did not know what to say to him. He came a third time and said to them, Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? Enough! The hour has come. The human one is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up! Let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand.
Be ready when he comes. Be ready when he comes. Be ready when he comes. Oh Lord, he's coming again so soon. Jesus is coming in this world again. He's coming to judge the hearts of all. Don't catch him, your heart filled with sin. He's coming again so soon. Be ready when he comes. Be ready when he comes. Be ready when he comes. Oh Lord, he's coming again so soon. Don't let him catch you like he done before. Skipping and dancing on the barroom floor, raising up stern men everywhere you go. He's coming again so soon. Be ready when he comes. Be ready when he comes. Be ready when he comes. Oh Lord, he's coming again so soon. Jesus is coming to this world again. He's coming to judge the hearts of all. Don't let him catch your heart filled with sin, 'cause he's coming again so soon. Be ready when he comes. Be ready when he comes. Be ready when he comes. Our Lord's coming again so soon.
This is very familiar territory for me, this garden. I used to come here to get away when I just couldn't take it anymore. Oh, I understand why they rejected me. Unclean, unclean. As though it was my fault. As though my shame was contagious. As though I wouldn't change it if I could. Oh, I own my share of the blame. Believe me, deep down, I know that I deserve this. And so I came and sat here in this garden, right over there. I've been so angry here, so lonely, and so afraid. And now Jesus is here too. Someone told me that he was so upset this evening that he sweat drops of blood. I get it. He's not the first one to crouch beside that rock, desperate for someone to attend to his pain. His are not the first drops of blood to soak into this ground. I don't know if that's supposed to make me feel better or not, to have someone else share my sorrow, feel something of the pain that I feel. That's what Jesus has always promised. Do not be afraid, I am with you. Come and follow me, I will lead you home. Never alone, that's the promise. Never alone. I've clung to that hope ever since I've met him, me and the busker. I guess that's two of us together in our pain. That's life, right? I have faith, I have love in my way, and that's supposed to be enough. But here's my confession. I still feel so alone. I'm supposed to trust my man, my rabbi, my God, but it never feels like enough. I'm still on my own, inside. I still have to live with my weakness. Knowing that everyone else suffers too, that's supposed to make me feel better, I guess. And it's nice to be connected on that deeper level. But at the end of the day, it's still my burden to carry, my cup to drink.
Having heard Maggie's confession, we're invited to make our own. At the stations behind you and on that side, there are cards and pens. And you're invited to come and write a few words of personal confession of what you're carrying with you tonight. Maybe it's something that you doubt, something that you wish to be true but you just can't commit to. Maybe it's a feeling, loneliness, impatience, fear. Maybe it's a wound that you carry, a limitation, a sin you struggle with. There's no judgment at the table. It's just an opportunity to name whatever burden you're carrying in this moment. Feel free to come during the next song or any time during the rest of the service. And then after you've written on your card, take it with you, bring it back to your seat, and we'll do something with it later on in the service.
Here we go. You gotta walk that lonesome valley. Well, you gotta walk for yourself. Man, ain't no one else gonna walk it for you. You gotta walk for yourself. My mother had to walk that lonesome valley. She had to walk for herself. Nobody else could walk it for her. She had to walk for herself. Oh yes, you gotta walk that lonesome valley. You gotta walk yourself. Nobody else can walk it for you. You gotta walk it for yourself. My father had to walk that lonesome valley. He had to walk all by himself. Nobody else could walk it for him. He had to walk for himself. Oh, Jesus had to walk that lonesome valley. He had to walk for himself. No one else could walk it for him. He had to walk the valley for himself.
Just as he was speaking, Judas, one of the 12, appeared. With him was a crowd armed with swords and clubs, sent from the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them. "The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him and lead him away under guard." Going at once to Jesus, Judas said, "Rabbi," and kissed him. The men seized Jesus and arrested him. Then one of those standing near drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. "Am I leading a rebellion," said Jesus, "that you have come with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I was with you, teaching in the temple courts, and you did not arrest me. But the scriptures must be fulfilled." Then everyone deserted him and fled. Then the Jewish leaders took Jesus from Caiaphas to the palace of the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, and to avoid ceremonial uncleanness, they did not enter the palace, because they wanted to be able to eat the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and asked, "What charges are you bringing against this man?" "If he were not a criminal," they replied, "we would not have handed him over to you." Pilate said, "Take him yourselves and judge him by your own law." "But we have no right to execute anyone," they objected. This took place to fulfill what Jesus had said about the kind of death he was going to die. Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus, and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "Is that your own idea?" Jesus asked, "or did others talk to you about me?" "Am I a Jew?" Pilate said. "Your own people and chief priests handed you over to me. What is it you have done?" Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders. But now my kingdom is from another place." "You are a king then," said Pilate. Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." "What is truth?" retorted Pilate. With this, he went out again to the Jews gathered there and said, "I find no basis for a charge against him. But it is your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of the Passover. Do you want me to release the King of the Jews?" They shouted back, "No, not him! Give us Barabbas!"
I can't see very well, but even from this distance, even I can see that this was no real trial. The priests, they can pretend to serve justice because they don't have to carry out the punishment for their false accusations. And the civil servants, well, they're just doing their job of keeping order, following the will of the people. And what do you know? The innocent suffer while the guilty go free. Those with power step on the neck of those without and then congratulate themselves on legitimacy because they almost managed to follow the legal procedure that they set up themselves. It's so damn predictable. This is where Jesus starts to lose me, because he does have power. He's the most popular man in town. He knows the law inside and out, and if he spoke up to defend himself, the crowd would rally in an instant. But he refuses to use it. He's tied his own hands with this ethic of love. Better to lay down your life, better to lose it than to cause harm, even to an enemy. Is power really power if you refuse to use it? We sing all those songs celebrating the mighty power of God, but here I sit, broken, dirt poor, unhealed, useless. Oh yeah, I'm a little bitter. Do you want to be bitter or do you want to be better? That's what Maggie says. I think she's being ironic. But hell yeah, I'd rather be better. But it doesn't seem to matter what I want now, does it? Not that it's all about me. But what's the point in following it if this is the road that the Son of God has chosen to walk?
He's a mighty good leader. He's a mighty good leader. He's a mighty good leader. All the way, long walk to heaven. He's a mighty good leader.
Pilate said to them, "Then what should I do with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" All of them said, "Let him be crucified." Then he asked, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Let him be crucified." So when Pilate saw that he could do nothing, but rather that a riot was beginning, he took some water and washed his hands before the crowd, saying, "I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves." Then the people as a whole answered, "His blood be on us and on our children." So he released Barabbas for them, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. They put a reed in his right hand and knelt before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. After mocking him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him.
I can't believe this is happening. He said that there was danger, that we should not be afraid, that he had to fulfill his purpose. But there was supposed to be a way out, a rational judge, an open gate, another way. Something like the blood of the Passover lamb on the doorpost. Justice. Why is there never any justice? My God, why is this happening? He's a good man, a good man. A man of peace, a man of wisdom, a gentleman. He healed me. He touched me. He gave me hope and a family. And now, he's really all alone. Jesus, I take it all back. I didn't mean it. All that feeling sorry for myself, I never wanted you to suffer. My God, you don't need to carry my pain. I'm not going to leave him. I'll never, ever leave him. Though none go with me, still I will follow. I am here, Jesus. I'm here. For whatever that's worth, I'm here. Take my hand, Lord. We'll go together.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light and take my hand, precious Lord. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, oh, linger near where my life is almost gone. Hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand, lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When the dark disappears and the night draws near and the day is past and it's gone. Stand, I'll guide my feet, hold my hand in my hand, precious Lord, me home. I hear you, let's go back to the first verse. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on. Let me stand. I'm tired. I'm weak. Oh yeah. I'm old. Through the night, lead me on. The light, take my hand. Here we go. Precious Lord, lead me home.
Two others also, who were criminals, were led away to be put to death with him. When they came to the place that is called the Skull, they crucified Jesus there with the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. Then Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And they cast lots to divide his clothing, and the people stood by, watching. But the leaders scoffed at him, saying, "He saved others. Let him save himself if he is the Messiah of God, his chosen one." The soldiers also mocked him, coming up and offering him sour wine and saying, "If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself." There was also an inscription over him, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who hanged there kept jeering at him and saying, "Are you not the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed have been condemned justly, for we are getting what we deserve for our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." He replied, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise."
As in his life, Jesus was surrounded at death, not by the faithful, not by the pure, but by the criminals, the pagans, the selfish and vulgar. And as in life, he does not hesitate in his death to speak words of forgiveness. To symbolize the forgiveness and acceptance that Jesus freely offers, we invite you to bring your confession to the front and drop it into the guitar case. No, these are not the best offerings, but sometimes our failures are all we have. And Jesus invites us to bring those as well. to leave them with Him. You don't need to carry those burdens any longer.
When it was about noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon, while the sun's light failed, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Then Jesus, crying with a loud voice, said, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." Having said this, he breathed his last. When the centurion saw what had taken place, he praised God and said, "Certainly this man was innocent." And when all the crowds who had gathered there for the spectacle saw what had taken place, they returned home, beating their breasts. But all his acquaintances, including the women who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a distance watching these things.
There's more love somewhere. There's more somewhere. Gonna keep on till I found more love somewhere. There's more
Now there was a good and righteous man named Joseph, who, though a member of the council, had not agreed to their plan and action. He came from the Jewish town of Arimathea, and he was waiting expectantly for the kingdom of God. This man went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then he took it down, wrapped it in a linen cloth, and laid it in a rock-hewn tomb where no one had ever been laid. It was the day of preparation, and the Sabbath was beginning. The women who had come with him from Galilee followed, and they saw the tomb and how his body was laid. Then they returned and prepared spices and ointments. On the Sabbath day, they rested according to the commandment.
Well, that's what I saw. How do I feel about it? How is one supposed to feel when the one hope they've been devoted to for 3+ years, the hope of a lifetime really, how should I feel when that hope is wiped out, simply crushed? Yeah, cynical me, I had hope. And now what? Anger? That barely begins to cover it.
Well, I'm angry. At the Romans? Sure. And those two-faced, treacherous priests? And a little at Jesus, too. Hopeless, drained, despair. Don't ask me to put some positive spin on this. There's nothing good left in this world tonight. Good has been defeated.
Defeated. Yeah, there's that too. Maybe dead is the right word for it, because it's not just one man that lies in that cold tomb. What do we do now?
Yet again, the blood of life pours into the ground, wasted. Story of my life. Follow, he said. Follow me. Follow me. Well, I did. And here I sit in the dark. I can follow no longer. Can I?
I followed too. Not as well as most, that's fair, though I'd like to think Jesus understood why I kept my distance. Maybe I always knew it would come to this. I think he did too. And yet that was always the call. Come and follow me. To the cross? Is that what you wanted, for us to join you up there?
All the way, you said. All the way. Are we there yet? It was easy to follow in the days after I was healed. There was always the possibility that the next healing was right around the corner. Was any of that even real? Does it even matter? Now that the story ends in a tearful rant at the door of a tomb.
What if I can't follow this path? What if this is the end of the line for me? Deep down, maybe that was the healing I really wanted, the release from cynicism, the step toward faith. Jesus is dead. Is this where faith dies too?
What does it mean to follow a man on a cross?
What does it mean to follow a God in a tomb?
Let Jesus lead you, let Jesus lead you, Jesus lead you all the way on to heaven. Let Jesus lead you. He's mighty good leader, he's mighty good leader, mighty good leader. All the way on up to heaven. He's mighty good leader. Let my mother, let my mother, let my mother all the way on join in. He's a mighty good leader. He's a mighty good leader. Mighty good leader. All the way, Lord, on up to heaven. Mighty good leader.